Hi friends, it's Leah again. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. And I really thank you for coming back to watch to listen to me, and I don't take that for granted. And guys, so let me jump straight to the reason of today's video. So today, like, the Lord had me in tears, you guys. Like, he's had me in tears. Like, I think I haven't cried like that. I don't think ever. You know, maybe I have cried before, but because of maybe of pain, or maybe because of feeling hopelessness and heaviness, and crying just like, oh God, help me, where are you, blah blah. But today I cried for a different reason, you guys. So a few days ago, the Holy Spirit woke me. I believe it was the Holy Spirit who woke me. It was on Sunday morning, like at 3 in the morning. I woke up, 3:30. I woke up and just startled out of sleep, and from a distance, there was a church having a music practice or an overnight prayer session, and there was this song singing, and I heard it, and I knew the song from before. My sister had sent me the song, and I had listened to the song, I think once or twice, and I was like, oh, it's nice, but I had forgotten about it. So this 3:30 in the morning on Sunday morning, I woke up and I heard this song, and I'm like, wow, this song is so profound. And that night I had slept for a few weeks, let me say. I've been with so much heaviness in my heart, and feeling such a cloud, feeling so defeated. I've been feeling so defeated, feeling so hopeless. Like, I've been feeling so desperate, so lost. Like, I don't know what to do now. Like I had told you guys, I had been called to do my old job. I went back to my old job, and it only lasted 3 weeks, and it was done. I wasn't told why. Like, it didn't work out. I was just told it didn't work out the way they had thought it would work out. Why did I do something wrong? What happened? Like, I was not told, and I was just dismissed. And that meant, even because it was at a school, so that meant even my daughter couldn't continue going to that school. I had to get my daughter to another school. you know it was just a lot. Like, it has been a lot. Even before I got to that job, it had been a lot for me. Like, for the past year, like, yeah, for the past over 1 year, had been fighting. Like, I've been fighting for provision. I've been fighting to find a way to make money. I've been fighting, and the more I fought, the more I lost. Guys, the more I fought, the more I lost and lost. Like, if I told you how much money I have lost trying to do business, it is so much. And I was fighting so hard, investing, so that I would never, so that I wouldn't be at the position where I am today. So I really fought, guys. So like, that 1 year and a half is when I is it what yeah about 1 year and a half actually, is when I came across forex, and I learned. I think I studied forex for like 2 months, and the person I was studying from, they like said, this is all you need to know to make money. And I understood what a candle is, what a wick is, what, how to place a trade, and blah blah blah. Basically, thought I knew how to trade. So I went into the market heavy, and I understood, the bigger my account, the safer my account will be. So I invested heavy, guys. Like, I will put $1,000 into my account, and within a month I would lose it, and I'll put another $1,000, I would lose it. So for the past 1.5 years, I lost so much money. And the money that I was losing, God had given it to me through a friend of mine. They had given it to me. They've given me the money to start business. But like, no matter the business that I thought I would start, where I live, it was not conducive with my child. I live at a place where it is not that safe. It is not very safe to walk around. Our roads, our streets, they are not very safe to walk. So I couldn't work it out how I would do that business in this area with the reputation. And then with my child, like, what time will I, because I was to open a shop, and I was like, what time will I close the shop? Because most shops, they stay up in the evening. Like, at 9 they're still open. At least they close at 9. That's when now we walk back home. you know, you walk back home, because that's when now people have come from work and they've bought what they need, they go and cook in their houses. So I was like, that type of business was not gonna work for where I live. And I believed God literally sent me here. The way I got my house was so miraculous. My house is not that expensive. It's a 1-bedroom, but it's not that expensive for the prices of 1-bedrooms in Nairobi. Anyway, that's why it is not expensive, because it's way up in the hills and it's very secluded. It's like a village-ish type of area in Nairobi. So the way I found this place was very miraculous, and I believe God did lead me to this place from my mother's house. So so when now I got these funds to start the business, I found that I could not do the business I had stated I wanted to do. So I was stuck. Now what do I do? Then, as I told you in my other video, I have my boyfriend in the US. So we had always been trying to get a visa. Always trying to get a visa. And so I ended up trying to get to attempt again to get a visa. And I applied for the student visa. I went and did my TOEFL. I passed, and TOEFL is very expensive. I spent over 30,000 in doing that TOEFL. I had to apply to a college in the US. I was accepted. I paid application fees for the college. Then I paid service fees. Service fees are over 40,000. I think I paid for 42,000 for service fees. I paid the visa fees to appear in the embassy for the student visa. I appeared. Everything was in order, guys. When I reached the embassy, they denied me the student visa. So that was a loss of hundreds of thousands, basically, And I was using an agent, so I had to also pay the agent. Okay, so anyway, so coming from that application of visa, losing hundreds of thousands, of course I had also got myself ready for school, because I had to expedite my visa, and I had to expedite my visa, and the visa interview date that I was given was 3 days before my day of reporting to school in the US. So I had to be ready. By the time I'm reporting to the embassy, I had to be ready, prepared. So I had to buy some things here and there, So I had spent still. Yeah, guys. So I had so from that, when the visa failed, now I was like, now Lord, my head was already removed from being here. Now I am here. Now what do I do? How do I provide for my daughter? What do I do to make sure that I provide for this child? Already I had thought of the shop idea, and it wasn't working for where I'm living. And I wasn't feeling it was wise for me to go live in another more expensive place, So yeah, so I was stuck. So I started praying to God, Lord, please help me find a business that I can do in the house. I can do in the house where I can take care of my daughter. She comes from school, she finds me home, I do my job, I still make money. So that's when now I came across Forex. And I thought I had learned all that I needed to learn in 2 months in Forex. Little did I know that I knew nothing. I just knew the introduction. So yeah, the Forex market taught me that I knew nothing. The more I thought I knew, I came to find out I don't know much. You don't know much. And it took me like a year and a half of learning and losing, guys. So up to the time now, I got to the place where I was fighting so hard never to be, where I would again need employment, So yeah, where I would again need employment. And for me, employment was I always wished for employment where I can go with my child, So I always preferred to work for schools. So yeah, so when I was called for this job in the school, I was so excited because I could go with my child. She would study there for free, The pay wasn't that great, but it was if my daughter can come with me and the education would be for free, at least the salary was gonna pay my rent. Okay, so I was okay with that. I was okay with that because it worked with my daughter's schedule. Yeah, guys. So for me to go there, then be told it didn't work out. No explanation, just didn't work out. And the way the events that followed later, it is like I stole or something, or it's like I did something so bad. Like the way the owner approached me, it was rude. It was rude. Even the money I expected her to pay me, she didn't pay me. She reduced a good portion of that amount, or that she was supposed to pay me for the 14 working days that I was there. Yeah, so a lot has been on me, like for the past 1.5 years. a lot has been on me, trying to figure out life, like how do I live here now with my child, being a single mother, and the same friend who had given me the capital to start the business had also started supporting me back in July. I think that, yeah, back in July she had started supporting me. She was sending me $100 every month, so that at least $100 I could pay rent sometimes, or I could buy food. I could do a lot. It helped. It went a long way. And then I had already started doing this loan business. I was selling loans because after I lost a lot of money with forex, I stopped. I stopped basically because it didn't make sense. So I went back on demo to practice, to understand it better. Like, what is this that I'm not getting? Because I knew it worked. Forex worked. So many people did it and it worked for them. So I was like, what is this that I'm not getting? So I went back on demo. I stopped trading live. Back on demo. Yeah, so I had gotten into this loans business, and plus my friend was still sending me $100 every month. So it was a very big help for me. So until 2 months ago, until 2 months ago, then she was like, no, I cannot help you anymore. I cannot support you. 2 months right after I was fired. 2 months like right after my job came to an end. She also told me she cannot no longer help us. She can no longer help us because she's having health issues, and it's like basically she was carrying my burdens. She has been carrying my burdens since I was pregnant with my daughter. She has been carrying my burdens on her shoulders. Like she has been an angel to our lives. We really leaned on her. Like she had been like a mother to me. Like I even call her a grandmother for my daughter. So she has been there for us, like holding our hands. Like God put her in our lives like at such a perfect time. Since I was pregnant, she's been covering our lives. Like God used her to support us. So now here I am. I lost so much money. I lost all the money, and here I am. I have my daughter. She needs to get into a new school. Here I am. I need to pay for my house. I need to provide food for her. My job, the job that I thought finally I have this job, it will at least reduce the pressure. It has ended. And then the loans business that I had started, like I was selling loans. I was a loans agent that I was doing from October last year, late September, that I had started, was not working out. Like it was not working at all. The company that I was working with had a very bad reputation for duping people, doing some dubious transaction on clients, and stealing money from clients. So people really did not want the loans anyway. So it wasn't working out, and you were spending your own money to text and to call clients. So it wasn't working out. It wasn't making sense. Also my manager, the one person I was working with, who was allowing me to be able to work from the house, through him, and he would, like, he's a representative of he was a representative of me working in the house. Anything I needed to be done in the office, he was doing. He also quit the job and went to another bank, basically. So that job was literally done. Yeah, guys. So here I have been, like, now for the past 1 month, from the mid of February up to now, like I have been under even more pressure, like even more stress, like constantly on pressure. So when my job came to an end, I had come to an understanding of the forex market that was so like I can see now, like I can see the structure of the market. I understand the forex much better. I know what to do. I know where to do it. I know where to take a trade. I know how to trade forex. So from when I started trading on my demo, when I was practicing on my demo, I lost some demo money. And then I kept on practicing. I put in my discipline, like I'm gonna follow the rules that I know I'm supposed to follow. I'm gonna stop being impulsive. I'm gonna stop revenge trading. I'm gonna put my stop loss. I'm gonna do this. I started following the rules that I had learned will work for my advantage. And so with my demo account, I had lost over 300 pips, and I was able to get it back. I was able to get it back, and I was able to I increased it. I think I got back over 500 pips or something. And so I was like, I think so that time I'm getting over my losses and getting even more profits. I had already this is when now my job came to an end. So I was like, I think God has timed this so perfectly that now I am ready to go back live. Okay, I'm ready to go back live to the forex market. But remember, guys, I don't even have much capital anymore. So the little money that I was paid for the job I was doing at the school, plus another friend, God used another friend to help me with the money to get my daughter into a new school. Okay, so I had some left over there, and plus I connected with the money that I added up with the money that I got from the job that ended, and I had like $100. I had $100, so I said I'm gonna put this $100 into my trading account, and I'm gonna start trading from I'm gonna now, this will be my job. And at that time, yeah, my friend had not said she cannot support us anymore. So I was like, oh, this $100 is gonna at least give us food. You know, I'm gonna work for this $100 for food or just rent, you know. It is gonna be okay. Plus the support I get, $100 I get from my friend every month will be enough. So yeah, guys, so a week after I was fired, then my friend said she can no longer help us, or 2 weeks after I was fired, she can no longer help us. So now I'm here. This $100 I have in my trading account is all that I have to make sure that I pay my rent, to make sure I pay my daughter's school fees. She's in a public school right now, but we still pay. Yeah, so I pay her school fees. I make sure every expense that we have should come from this $100 balance in my trading account. So that is a lot of pressure. You don't want that type of pressure when you are trading. Yeah, so basically you need to trade for money, sort of money that you don't need. You know, like you are not supposed to trade with stress. You know, like, oh my god, I cannot lose this, oh my goodness, I cannot lose, you know, then you end up losing. So, and then having $100, I cannot really trade with a big lot size. I can only trade with the 0.01 for me to, you know, it's more logical to trade with 0.01, because now that account is so small. In case I'm wrong in my analysis and I take a hit, I take a stop loss, you know, 0.01 can survive. You know, at least it can survive. It's not very good, but it can survive better than if I was trading with 0.05 or 0.03, you know. So I said I'm gonna stick to 0.01. So 0.01 is giving me very little profit. A very little profit. Yeah, guys. So anyway, so for the first, I think about a few weeks, like a month, I was trading very well. I was making my profits, you know. I was trading very, very well. Very small profits, yes. Per day I would make maybe $5. There are some days I'll make $4, because I was being very careful. I was being extra careful. I was doing extra confirmation, so I would not get into trades too early. Although I was using the place where I should enter as my confirmation. Then when I see that price is really going to where I see it's going, then I will get in. So I was not going for big profits, but I was going in for trades that I have very much confirmed. Yes, so I was taking maybe, yeah, $4. I was getting $7 on a really good day. That's how I was trading. So guys, so you see, my profits were really small, but I wasn't getting stop loss hits. No, my trades were always hitting TP, because I know the market, and I always over confirmed. Like, I really waited to see that really this trade is going where I am going. There's a way you know that the trade is really going where you're going. So yeah, guys, so yes, so that became my trading journey, and I was having this confidence. Oh, I can gather, you know, this $4, $7 here, $2 today. It adds up, you know. It adds up at the end of the month. You know, I was like, maybe I'll get what I need for rent and, you know, a little bit for food. So that's how I was trading until I think 2 videos of when I started doing my trading videos, like 2 videos in, and then I remember I took this gold trade. And it went so beautifully. It was so beautiful. I had made like 130 pips. Yeah, I had 130 pips in profit, and price kept refusing to go past a certain point, but it had not reached where it should reach. It was refusing, but at that place though, it was a key point where price can turn back. But I believed, I was like, no, it has not reached where it should turn around at, because it always hit. It always hit. So I didn't close my trade, although I kept on seeing price going there. comes back. Price going there, I go back to zero. Price going there, I go back to, like that. Guys, I'm telling you, I used to take like profit of $4, $2, $5, $7. That was the margin. But in this trade, I was having a profit of over $13. And it was at my take profit, but it was not closing my take profit. You understand? It is right there on the line of my take profit. But it's like a joke to me. I'm like, I'm waiting for price to close me out. I'm not closing it. It's gonna close me out. It's like a joke, because I'm like, it's gonna close me out. It was right there. There was a monthly level there. I don't know if you're not a trader, you may not understand what I'm saying. There was a monthly foundation level there. And my take profit was right on that monthly foundation, but it wasn't closing me out. It was just kissing and coming back, candle after candle. It's just, so I was like, it's gonna close me out, I'm telling you, from that profit, I cannot tell you how price turned around and I ended up losing. I think from that profit of about $13, I ended up losing, I think, $50. Yeah, I ended up losing $50. Then I made it back. I made some back. Then I ended up losing. Like, I take trades, they go where they're supposed to go. Like last week, was it a few days ago, I took a trade that went up to TP1. If you understand, if you're a trader, and it didn't. It's gold. It went to TP1. It made double equal highs, and it rejected. Did I close the trade? And I saw that rejection. It kept on trying to go falling. I did not close my trade because I'm like, it's gonna hit my TP2. I did not do that. I ended up losing, guys, a lot. So as you can see, I know how to read the market, but sometimes, but there is so much pressure on me that I need this money for my life, for my child, that I don't close my trades. Like the thought of even closing a trade, even when I can see it might turn around, the thought of closing that trade, even when I see it might turn around, is very difficult for me, because I'm like, I need this money. I cannot give up. Let me wait until it hits my TP, And even that trade, I ended up losing that profit, and then because I had 100 pips on that trade, so I ended up losing that 100 pips and plus lost. My stop loss was hit, and my stop loss was not close. It was at the very foundation of the swing, So I took another hit. So guys, so I'm trying to paint a picture for you of my stress levels. Yeah, paint a picture for you of my stress levels. So, this stress has been building up and building up and building up on me. I'm telling you, and I'm like, no, I have no one to ask for help. I have nowhere to go. My daughter really believes I have things figured out. Like, she thinks I really am. She thinks like her mother has it figured out. And I'm like, I just look at her and I'm like, oh my God, don't let my daughter down. I'm like, even if it's not for my sake, for my daughter's sake, Lord, please don't let her down. Don't let her down. When I pray, sometimes I look at my daughter and I cry. I'm like, God, for the sake of my child, don't let my child down. So I was carrying this burden, and God has promised me so many things. Remember, guys, I'm a dreamer, and the Lord promises me so many things. So I'm like, if these promises that God has given me, it has been such a battle. You're like, God, when are you gonna do it? God, when are you gonna do it? Like, things are getting worse. Things are getting worse, and you keep on promising me. So like now, I think my faith got a little shaky. It is there. I have faith, but I worry. I have anxiety carrying it on me. So yeah, guys, so imagine. So after my last stop loss hit, my confidence even in trading became so much destroyed. I'm like, no, I don't have anything else. I have nothing. I have nowhere. I have no one to run to but you, God. You are the only one I have to run to. So guys, even knowing I have God to run to, you're like, but now how are you going to answer my prayer? How are you going to help me? How are you going to provide? How are you going to protect us? How are you going to cover us? So guys, so that has been how I have been operating for a long time, let me say. for a really long time, just feeling like I'm going down and down and lower and lower. As much as I come on here and share, because the Lord told me clearly to come on here and share my stories and what I've been through and what I have done and what, you know, the Lord told me to come and share here. Sometimes I think I overshare. Someone may think I overshare, but the Lord told me to come and share, and that my ministry will be different. He said it is new. He told me my ministry, it is new, and it is not by many people. But it is not by many people. It is new, and it is not by many people. So yeah. So I'm saying, as much as I come and share here, people may think, oh, her life is so perfect. No, it is not. It has not been perfect. But those have been my struggles. My friends who are close to me, they know what has been happening. So yeah, so I've been miserable. I've been like, God, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And then this morning, guys, as I started the story, that the Lord woke me up on Sunday morning, and I had this music from this church that they were singing. It's a song. Usifiwe ewe Bwana Mungu wangu na wema wako wanijaza, wewe ndiwe muumba wangu. I don't know, I'm mixing the words. Umenifanya kuwa kielelezo cha walio barikiwa. You know, like that, like you made me the example of the people who are blessed, you know. Furthermore, you have made me a blessing that I may be able to bless, you know. So I was hearing this word that like you are my savior, you are my father, you are the sign of my victory, you're the flag of my victory. You take care of me like you take care of me, like you take care of your eye, like mboni ya jicho, like your eyeball, like you protect me like you protect your eyeball, you know. So I was hearing these words, and I was like, like the Holy Spirit woke me up, and these were the words I was hearing, and they really spoke to my heart. I'm like, wow, that is so beautiful. Like that has been true of my life. So I had a glimpse of thoughts, you know, coming from my past, and thinking of how God has really been this, and that God promises me this in His word, and how He has truly has done it for me throughout my life, you know. But it didn't hit me so much as it should. So like I think the following morning and the following morning, because I sleep in the morning most of the time, I stay up at night for some reason. I sleep in the morning most of the time after my daughter has gone to school, and then sometimes I wake up when I have to trade, you know, at 11 or and then I trade in the New York session. I just keep on checking my charts. Yeah. So like so yeah, I've been staying up at night listening. So I've been listening to this song every night for the past like 3 nights. I think I skipped a night ago. Yeah. So but today I watched some videos. I like to watch people's testimonies, you know, such stories. And then I was like, I want to pray. Then let me listen to that song again, to that song and the other worship songs. And I put that song, guys. And today, when I was singing along the song, guys, I'm telling you, I broke down. Like it spoke to my spirit. It spoke to my soul. Like it spoke to me personally. I started remembering everything that God has done for me. Like I started remembering where God has got me from, you guys. Like it came so fresh in my mind. I started remembering. I am this girl who, when I was 6 years old, I almost drowned in a flooded river, you know. I was at this flooded river with my stepbrothers, and it was my father's land, and it had a river going across it, very big river, and it was flooded, guys. And I saw my stepbrothers jumping in, and I was like, they were jumping in, and the water was reaching their waist, because I didn't know they were floating. They were, you know, because they knew how to swim. So I thought the water wasn't that deep. So when my stepbrother, the older stepbrother, came out of the water, I said, I'm gonna also jump in, and I jumped into that water, and I tried to reach the floor of the river, and I could not. And the water was moving so fast, and it started going with me. I held on to a branch, and it snapped, it broke. You see that, like just the way you see in the movies. It broke and I was about to be swiped away. And one of my stepbrothers jumped in and got me out. It was a really terrible situation, guys. So I almost died at 6, guys. I remember I almost died when I was attacked by the man who assaulted me, who raped me, you know. I almost died at that point. I almost, you know, I was brought up by a witch, you know. I was brought up by a real witch, you guys. Not that I'm calling my stepmother a witch. She was practicing witchcraft. She was the one who brought me up. I am the girl who was being sent to graves to pick sand. I remember another time there was this neighbor of ours. She was demon possessed, and this person, the sheikh or something, was called to get the demon out of the girl. The girl's name was the same as mine. Her name was Nuru, and I was also called Nuru. Nuru means light in Swahili. So she was called Nuru, and I was also called Nuru. So the demon inside this girl said it was not gonna get out of that girl until I came. I don't even know why. Okay, now I understand why the devil called for me to go. So the demon said that it will only go after it has held my hand. Like after they hold my hand, that's when they will leave. You know. That happened to me. I think I was like 8 or something. So I was called like, your Nuru, another Nuru now. Nuru has a demon and he says it won't go until you come and hold her hand, you know. So that happened to me. I am that girl who was called to hold that demon's hand, you know. You understand? I am that girl who was, attacked by a rapist and left for dead. I am that girl, you know. I was remembering, like, as I was like, how did God get us from that place? How did God get us from Tanzania, from the hands of demons and the hands of witches? He got us from there so miraculously. Like, how did God save me from that rapist who beat me up and left me for dead? How did God save me from that? How did God, like, God gave me so much favor. Like, guys, when I came from Tanzania, I came not knowing any English. I knew nothing. I only spoke Swahili. And when I went to schools in Kenya, people laughed at me. They were like, a teacher will come in class and say, "Good morning, class. Oh, we see we have a new student." And the whole class will chorus, "She doesn't speak English." You know, like the constant embarrassment, like this, she doesn't speak English. Like, I couldn't understand teachers when they were teaching, in the blackboard. So I was that girl. Within a year of me coming to Kenya, I was always the first, the top student. Within a year, guys, I spoke the best English in the school. I was the best at every subject. Every school I went to, I was the best student. How did that happen? So I was like I was this girl who, you know, God got me from, even when I was raped, when my values of myself crumbled to nothing. I was this girl who was dating around, sleeping. You know, I started remembering how shamelessly I was doing it. You know, like trying to be the it girl for the guys I was dating. You know, sometimes, you know, it was just ringing in my mouth as I'm singing the song, and I'm crying. I was this girl who will move from my mother's house, guys, to my boyfriend's office with no panty on. I would go there just to be that girl, you know, I was that shameless girl. Take a matatu, move from my mother's house, take a matatu, get to his office with no panty on, just to be that like what do you call it? Fetish, that fantasy for that man. Like I was so shameless to having sex outside, even outside in the open. I would do it, you know, just to be there. I was just that girl. And I'm like, God, you came for that girl. You came for me. How did you get me from that shamelessness? How did you get me from that sinfulness? I was this woman who had an abortion, you know. But you came for me from that woman who dated a married man. You came for me for that woman. I got pregnant again. I was hopeless. I had no way of providing for myself or providing for my daughter. God, you have been faithful. Like, I was remembering all the faithfulness of God. How he held my hand through my pregnancy, guys. Let me tell you, when I was pregnant, I started doing this business. I started selling I started selling food to offices in Karen, in my hometown. I started supplying lunches in my pregnancy when I was, I think, about 5 months pregnant. I got up from bed and I asked God, how will I provide for my daughter when she wakes up? I mean, when she's born. And the same friend that I'm telling you helped us from when I was pregnant, she gave me the capital to start this little business, and I would cook all foods, like I would cook everything, pack it into lunches and distribute it in offices. And I would, and that was my life. I was applying. At the end of it, anyway, it kept me. It provided for me food and stuff. It took care of me. But at the end of the day, when each year finished, I remember my friend will still send me something, and the amount she will send me will be more than what I worked all year for, all year. So it's like God was covering me anyway. It's like I never even had to hustle so much, even in pregnancy. Even after I had my daughter, God covered me miraculously, provided jobs, favor after favor, So guys, so these were the things that were running through my mind. Like, I was even asking I was asking God, like, how did I even get to this place? Yes, I know how I got to this place, but how did I get to this place? How have I been able to live in this house for the past 2.5 years almost now? It has been 2.5 years without a job. Yes, I know my friend had helped me, but how have I, like, looking at myself from where I come from the type of family I have. My family is not wealthy. My mother doesn't have a bunch of money sitting around like my mother herself. She's waiting for someone to feed her, So yeah, so like I was remembering how faithful God has been from when I was a child. The Holy Spirit was reminding me, from when you were a child, my hand was on you. From when you were a teenager, my hand was in you. I gave you favor. I elevated you. Like, I elevated you above people. Wherever you are elevated. Like, even through, there was a church I went to, and the pastor in the church said, God says he has seen your tears, that you have suffered so much in your ears, in the years. You have suffered so much, you have been tortured so much by the devil, but God has remembered you. And I remember saying, looking at the person, I'm like, me? I suffered where? How did I suffer? How did I suffer? I didn't consider myself like I suffered. I still don't consider myself like I suffered. I think God has given me the grace of healing quickly, forgiving myself, forgiving people. I guess I have that. So I don't carry burdens of maybe someone did this to me. I don't carry victim mentality on me. I don't carry it to the best. Like, mostly I don't carry it. Yeah, so when the pastor said this to me, like, God has heard your prayers. He says you will not suffer anymore. I was like, me, I've suffered when? Where? How? I didn't see that. So, but now today, I was like, God, you have been with me through all these things that have happened, all these things that the devil tried to do, like directly with witchcraft, directly with demonic attacks, directly trying to kill me. Even my sister, I remember my sister that I grew up with in Tanzania with the witchcraft. She almost drowned too. Like, she was standing somewhere at a pool and she was singing, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. Boom. She was singing, she's drowning before she fell in. She was singing it, She was about maybe 9 years. Yeah, my incident happened after hers. She was singing, I'm down, I'm drowning, in Swahili she was saying, nadumbukia, dumbwi. She even said dumbwi. Then she fell into the water. Thank God there was a house help. She was in the toilet. She came out of the toilet and she came and rescued her from the water. So we almost died. Me and my sister, we almost died by the same death. But I guess our mother's prayers were so... Our mother was so persistent in Kenya praying for us, for her children. So guys, so I was remembering all these things that God did for me. I was remembering how he has taken care of me and my daughter. I was like, it has been 9 years since I was pregnant with my daughter. Because that's where I started remembering, because my burden, my pressure has been financial. So like, for 9 years, Lord, for when I was pregnant, you have taken care of us so perfectly. Like, you've been such a good shepherd. You have been such a good father, such a good husband to me. that you have let us lack nothing. For 9 years, you guys, can you wrap your mind around 9 years, guys? 9 years. God has been the only person taking care of us. No, I wouldn't say it's me doing my jobs or me working hard or me being smart. No, God has covered us. And he's covered us with favor beyond, like someone will be in need and they will say, Leah, I know you can help me out, and I would be able to help someone out, you know, in little ways. Or sometimes someone will be able to borrow from me, you know, like it covered me beyond just basics. So yeah, I was remembering this morning, and my heart was like shattered. Like I was like, God, I am so thankful. I repented. I told God, forgive me for forgetting. Forgive me for forgetting what you have done for me. Forgive me for forgetting how good you have been to me. Forgive me for forgetting your footprints, your hand. It is so obvious on my life. It is so obvious. I could see it so clearly that no one else could have done all these things for me if God wasn't the one carrying me on his shoulders. He was carrying me literally. So I remember, and I broke down. My daughter told me this morning, Mom, your eyes are red. I told her, yeah, I've been crying because I remember how good God was to us. Yeah, guys, so I'm here with this story. I know the video has become so long. With this story, like I want you to think of, no matter what you're going through, guys, no matter what you're going through, I want you to remember how good God has been in your life. No matter how much you may think like you're drowning, like you think or you feel that things are not making sense, you don't see where help is gonna come from, how God is gonna do it, how you think it's impossible. Just remember what he has already done for you. Remember back. Think of where you came from. Think of what he has already done for you. And remember, the Bible says he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He does not change. If God has given you a promise, believe him. I am like, today the Holy Spirit reaffirmed my belief that God truly is going to do every promise that he made to me. That is going to do it. And that while I am waiting for him to do the promise, he still got me covered, you know? He still got me covered. He knows how he's going to do it. He has always done it miraculously. Miraculously, a job opens up. Miraculously, something happens. Yeah, guys. So, that is what I was coming on to say here, guys. Like, believe God. Believe him. Because he has already shown you that he is faithful. He has already shown you that he cannot lie. I was remembering how the Israelites, like, it is easy to forget, guys. It's so easy to forget. I was remembering how the Israelites forgot when God took them from Egypt. They forgot that God parted the Red Sea for them to walk on land. How amazing is that? How do you forget this God who did that? Like, how do you forget that? They forgot that God fed them manna from heaven. They forgot that God led them by a cloud. They forgot that God led them by a star. They forgot that God gave them victory over their enemies, that nobody beat them. They forgot that God made water come from a rock. Like, how? You know? They forgot that God made birds bring meat for them. They forgot. Like, what? They forgot all those miracles that God was able to do to Pharaoh. You know, the locusts, the blood, the killing of the firstborns, the death of the cattle, of the livestock, all those miracles, turning the water into blood, everything. They forgot that this was a mighty God who was able to do anything and everything. They forgot that this God who made the entire universe with just a word. They forgot all that. And they worshipped an idol. They forgot. It is so easy for human beings to forget, you know. And we always say, I always say, how could Israelites forget? Like, how could they have worshipped an idol? How could they made an idol after God did all those things for them? Like, I always say, if I was the one that God came so physically to me, you know, because literally it's like God was right there with them, like physically, like doing all these things for them. I thought, if I was them, I would never have worshipped an idol. I would never have forgotten. I would never have complained. I would have trusted fully, blah, blah, blah. But no, today the Holy Spirit humbled me very, very much. Like, you forgot. I have done the same things for you, but you have forgotten. You have forgotten how faithful I have been. You have forgotten how mighty I am. You have forgotten how nobody can be compared to me. You have forgotten how nothing is impossible to me. You know, how God, like, imagine how God waited until Sarah was over 100 years old and Abraham also was over 100 years for him to give them a child. Like, imagine how mind-boggling that is. You know, I had forgotten. I've forgotten, you know, like the God I'm praying to is the God I'm praying to. I'm praying to the God who when things seem impossible and when you feel like he's too late, he's right on time. The God who raised Lazarus from the dead, you know, and he was right there on time. Nothing is impossible to him. You know, guys, like, I was reminded today, and I'm here to remind you guys, like, to remind you, please remember, whatever, no matter what you're going through, remember what God has already done for you. That is enough to assure you of his faithfulness and to assure you that he does not lie and he cannot lie and he does not change. So guys, I had so much stories to share because today has been so profound for me. That was so profound for me. Like, it was so profound for me. Like, I cried like a baby. Like, I cried like a baby. I don't think I've ever cried that much. Even when I'm crying, God help me, no. I've never cried so much. Like his faithfulness, like his goodness just dawned on me. Like his goodness, his mercy, his faithfulness, it dawned on me. I'm like, wow, this is the God that I'm praying to. And God was faithful to me all those years, over 9 years when I was a child. When I was a child, I was a Muslim, guys. When I was in sin, I was not even really following his commandment. I was not even worshiping him in truth and in faith. I was a wounded person, walking blind, you know. I was walking wounded, doing whatever I wanted. I was being rebellious, and still God protected me even through that. I got out of these relationships with not even a disease. No disease. Just okay. So I was even remembering, you saved me from even these relationships, from even these men. As I told you, I did not mean any men of substance. So, you know, I could have caught so many diseases, but I did not catch any. You know, guys. So, guys, I was just remembering, guys. And I'm here to tell you, remember, guys, what has God already done for you. Remember all that chain. There's a chain that testifies of his goodness, of his mercy, of his power, of his faithfulness to you. If you think about it, you will see it. You will see it, guys. And that should help us to stand firm, to believe, to keep believing that he is faithful and he's gonna do it and he's not gonna be late. He will be right on time, and whatever his blessings are good and they add no sorrow to them. And he says in his word that he blesses us beyond our imagination. His plans are higher than our plans. His plans are bigger than our plans. We could never even imagine. We have never seen it. We have never heard it, because of how big and how perfect his plans for us are. Okay, so that is what I am waiting for. That is what I'm waiting for. And I am so happy and I am so grateful to God that he is so good to me. He has been so good to me. He has been so good to my daughter. And I pray that this video has blessed you, that this video reminds you of God's goodness and his faithfulness, and that he will continue being the same, that he will never change. He will never change. Even when we change, he does not change. Even when we are not faithful, he is still faithful, guys. So I hope I made sense to someone today. It has been a very emotional day, and but in a good way. It has been emotional in a good way. Physically, in my through the human eyes, things are still the same for me. Like, I'm still trading those. I'm still taking those tiny trades. Yeah, I am still taking those tiny trades because my account is small. I'm still taking those tiny trades. I still don't have a job. I still have no one to run to, but I have God, and he's more than enough, and I know he has a plan for me, and I know he's gonna make a way out of no way, because I cannot see no way, but I know he has a way, and he will make it clear, and he is faithful, and he will not let us fall. He promises us in his word that he will never will not let us fall, that he will not put us to shame, you know. When I pray, I always say, God, everybody knows I proclaim your word. Everyone knows I worship you. Everybody knows I depend on you. Everyone knows, Lord, I pray that, because this matters to God, like the people know you are the one you worship. So he has to glorify his name in my life. He has to glorify his name in the life of my daughter. He has to glorify his name in my matters. And I pray that my life may be a testimony of his glory, Yeah, guys, so I don't want to continue forever because I can really continue. But I pray that this has blessed you, and that it takes you back to the goodness of God, and to faith, to build your faith back in the Lord, in the things that he has promised you, in the things that you're praying for and hoping for God. I am so happy for this moment, and I am so grateful that you have joined me. Please like my video, please subscribe, please leave a comment. Let's talk about the goodness of God at the comment section, and I will be so grateful. I hope I do see you next time. Bye bye.